Okay, so ready for launch. We're diving deep into Wings of Fire, the story of APJ Abdul Kalam.
A truly remarkable life story.
It really is, and you've brought such a fascinating figure to this deep dive. I'm really eager to unpack the moments that shaped him.
What always gets me about Kalam is how much his childhood in Ramaswaram really influenced his path.
Yeah,
It wasn't just growing up on Mosque Street, but like absorbing the values of his environment,
yeah.
you know?
You're right, it was the whole mindset of the place. His father built boats, which isn't just a job, it's this understanding of structure and balance.
Right.
Kind of like his work later on, crafting these intricate rockets to break free from gravity itself.
Wow. It's a pretty amazing parallel when you think about it. And don't forget the cyclone he describes hitting Ramaswaram,
Oh, yeah.
just reshaping the landscape. Imagine facing that kind of natural power, especially as a kid.
Yeah.
It speaks to developing that resilience,
Yeah.
that grit to face whatever life throws your way.
It makes you wonder if those early experiences fueled his determination later on. And within all that, this current of religious harmony really stands out.
Absolutely.
He talks about his mother serving meals on a banana leaf.
Yeah.
It's a simple act, but so evocative. And then just outside, neighbors of all faiths would come seeking his father's prayers.
That blend of traditions, so intertwined, clearly shaped him. It speaks to the idea that diversity becomes a source of strength, not division.
Yeah.
Makes you think, what were those early influences for you that shaped how you see things?
It's a powerful question. And speaking of shaping perspectives, Kalam's teachers, especially Iyadurai Solomon, were so important.
Oh, absolutely. Solomon really instilled this belief that you're not just along for the ride in life. You're holding the map, making the choices, charting your own course. It's about recognizing your own agency,
Mm-hmm.
that you can influence your destiny. Think about those figures in your life who've done that for you. The teachers, the mentors who empowered you to believe in yourself. Who comes to mind?
You realize the impact one person can have? It wasn't just teachers, though. Access to knowledge broadened his world, too. Like S.T.R. Manicom's library, A World of Stories, and then his cousin, Sam Sutton, showing him newspaper pictures, bringing him the world.
Right.
It's a good reminder that every book, every image can open up new worlds for us.
And through that, Kalam began connecting his own aspirations to a larger purpose. Here he was, a young boy thirsty for knowledge, but also absorbing the hopes of a newly independent India.
It's inspiring, but his path, well, it wasn't always easy. He even talks about struggling with career choices and setbacks that could have derailed him completely.
It's a good reminder that even the most brilliant minds face uncertainty.
Yeah.
Those moments of doubt where the way forward is unclear.
Yeah.
And that's where mentors, like that MIT professor, come in.
Yeah.
Imagine being challenged to design a whole aircraft in just 3 days.
Wait, 3 days to design an aircraft? That's intense.
It was a test of resilience, pushing past what he thought was possible.
Wow.
And through that pressure, Kalam found this hidden strength, this determination. It reminds us that we need those figures who believe in us even when we doubt ourselves, who push us to our full potential.
Makes you think about those times in your own life, those crossroads or closed doors. For Kalam, that moment was narrowly missing his dream of joining the Air Force. Can you imagine that disappointment? Having a goal so close only to see it slip away.
Oh, absolutely crushing, I bet. But what's remarkable is how he handled it. Instead of letting it defeat him, he pivots, finds a new path that leads him to rocket engineering, to IncoSpark, which later becomes the renowned ISRO.
Right.
Proof that sometimes a closed door opens up a whole universe of possibilities.
Talk about turning a setback into a launch pad. And it wasn't just a career change either. He talks about that first train journey to North India, encountering landscapes so different from his southern upbringing.
Right.
You can almost feel his world expanding as he travels, taking in those new sights and perspectives.
You're right. It's like he's not just moving geographically, but intellectually and emotionally too. Kalam was always open to new experiences, new ways of seeing things. And honestly, that's what fueled his creativity.
And those new experiences led him to new challenges, like the GM project. Here he is building a hovercraft with limited resources, pouring his heart into this creation, and then bam, frustration, the project's shelved.
Oh, wow.
It reminds us that even the most brilliant ideas can hit roadblocks.
It's true. It's a real lesson in perseverance.
It is. But what's fascinating is how Kalam responds. He doesn't give up on the project or his belief in it. Instead, he finds inspiration in an unlikely source, the Wright brothers' work on bicycles.
Really?
Yeah, he sees a connection, a shared spirit of innovation, and it fuels his determination. Have you ever found inspiration in an unusual place?
All the time. It's a good reminder that innovation often happens when you least expect it, when we let ourselves think outside the box.
Absolutely. And speaking of visionaries who defied boundaries, we can't forget the impact Professor Vikram Sarabhai had on Kalam.
Oh, absolutely not. Joining Sarabhai's team at InCoSpar was a major turning point.
It really was. He's suddenly in this incredibly collaborative environment, learning by witnessing the launch of India's first rockets. Imagine that energy,
I can only imagine.
being part of something so groundbreaking.
It must have been incredible. And Sarabhai's leadership was key in that. He didn't believe in rigid structures or micromanaging. He empowered his team, encouraging them to push boundaries and learn from everything they did.
Kalam talks about that story with the Russian Rado, the rocket-assisted takeoff system. Sarabhai didn't give a lecture. He just showed the device to his team and casually challenged them to build one.
Wow.
Talk about a power move.
What a leader. He understood that to get people excited about innovation, you need to create a space where they can experiment and learn from their mistakes. It's about building a culture of curiosity and collaboration.
Talk about a masterclass in leadership. And Kalam takes those lessons to heart. After Sarabhai, he ends up leading the SLV-3 project, from hovercrafts to launching rockets into space. That's quite the journey.
It is. It's a huge jump in complexity and responsibility. Now he's managing these massive projects, coordinating huge teams, under intense pressure to deliver.
Right.
He was developing the management techniques needed for these huge scientific endeavors. And through it all, he stayed incredibly grounded.
He did. He talks about walking 2 kilometers every morning to just plan his day, to strategize.
Wow.
It makes you think about the importance of those small, consistent actions, even when you're dealing with these monumental challenges.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
It shows how much he understood that to be a good leader, you need a clear mind. It takes discipline, focus, and a commitment to clear thinking, even under pressure.
And speaking of pressure, imagine leading these demanding projects while dealing with personal tragedies, too. Kalam writes about losing close family members during this time.
Oh, wow.
It's a reminder that even in the midst of these huge endeavors, life goes on with all its ups and downs.
It really does. It speaks to his strength that he could deal with those losses while handling such demanding work. He found comfort in his faith, drawing strength from the Quran and his father's words. It reminds us that everyone, even those who seem larger than life, has moments of vulnerability and seeks comfort in their own way.
It's a very human side of his story. And through it all, this vision for an Indian missile program emerges. That's where IGMDP comes in, the Integrated Guided Missile Development Program. He talks about this crucial meeting with the defense minister where the stakes are incredibly high.
Okay.
Imagine this one intense meeting. The defense minister challenges Kalam and his team to develop a whole missile program and do it fast.
That's a lot of pressure.
Right, it's a huge responsibility. But Kalam and his team were up for it. They pulled an all-nighter to develop a plan for not 1, but 5 missiles. Prithvi Trishul, Akash, Nag, and Agni.
5. That's incredible. And these weren't just weapons, were they? They represented something much bigger.
Exactly.
India's determination to be self-reliant in these vital technologies, to be a force to be reckoned with on the world stage.
And it's not just about building missiles. It's about building a legacy. Kalam emphasizes how collaborative these projects were. He always shared credit with his team. He knew that big achievements are rarely solo acts.
Right. It takes a team. And his leadership style really encouraged that. Do you remember that story about Jaya Chandra Babu?
Oh, yeah. A relatively junior colleague who suggests this radical change to their procurement process?
Yes. And instead of dismissing it because it came from someone less experienced, Kalam listened.
He did. He considered it on its merits and ended up implementing it.
And it sped up that radar project significantly.
It did. Which says a lot about him as a leader. He valued ideas from every level, knowing that good ideas can come from anywhere. He created an environment where everyone felt empowered to contribute no matter their experience level.
Absolutely. And that's what's at the heart of Kalam's legacy, isn't it? It's more than rockets and missiles. It's about inspiring a nation to aim high.
It really is. He believed so strongly in self-reliance, in nurturing the potential of young people, in fostering innovation to tackle big challenges. And remember, he wasn't just a scientist. He was a poet, a philosopher, a dreamer who believed in the boundless possibilities within us all.
He was. And you know what? That's what resonates, isn't it? That belief. He even wanted to start a school later in life to shape young minds. It always comes back to that power of education, of igniting that inner fire in everyone.
And that brings us to a thought for you to ponder. Kalam always emphasized the importance of finding that spark within yourself. What dream or goal truly excites you? What small step can you take today to fan those flames and make it a reality?
It's true. Every journey, even one to the stars, begins with a single step.